If you've ever heard me say something that I think I know, but it's not very clear, it's probably not your fault. It's probably my fault. It means maybe I don't understand it deeply enough. I need to really understand it in order to explain it clearly. Sometimes when you're learning by yourself, you don't give yourself enough pressure to force yourself to do things the right way. And I think it's important to do that. If you really want to improve, whether it's writing, presentations, understanding grammar, pronunciation, whatever it may be, you need to find ways to give yourself pressure. Pressure is good. It's not bad. Pressure is a good thing. And one way to give yourself pressure is to force yourself to be able to explain what you know. This is something that teachers have to do. Now, you might think, well, that's crazy. English is not my first language. How could I teach it to anyone, right? But that's part of the pressure. So I want to encourage you to think differently about what you're learning. Don't only think of it as a thing that you're constantly struggling to understand. Think of it as something that you could also help others with. Everyone's got their own special talent. For example, maybe your pronunciation is really clear. You struggle with grammar, but your pronunciation is really clear. Couldn't you help others with their pronunciation, explaining some point, or maybe it's grammar, helping them understand something? If you know it, why not? And the process of doing that, of explaining the things that you know, that you've learned, actually forces you to learn those things better. This is something I experience all the time as a teacher. Yeah, I'm a native English speaker and I know this stuff, but forcing myself to explain it to you, to explain it to others, to teach it in courses and make videos about it, forces me to gain an even deeper understanding of that. And I want to encourage you to do the same thing. Now, I'm not saying that you should start making English courses. I'm not saying that you have to start a channel or anything like that. What I am saying is you can find opportunities to help others, to teach others, learn the things that you figure out and learn naturally. And forcing yourself to do that gives you pressure, knowing also that other people will see it and benefit from it if it's correct, gives you even more pressure. Oh, I'd better get it right. I'd better not screw it up, right? There's a famous quote from Albert Einstein. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough, right? If you've ever heard me say something that I think I know, but it's not very clear, it's probably not your fault. It's probably my fault. It means maybe I don't understand it deeply enough. I need to really understand it in order to explain it clearly. And I want you to start thinking the same way about your English development, about the things that you want to improve in English. I want you to practice being a teacher, and I want to talk about how you can actually do that, okay? And I'm going to give you some simple steps. First, find an area that you're weak in. Maybe you need to improve aspects of your grammar, or how you use specific phrasal verbs or idioms, right? Maybe you hear idioms in movies, you don't understand them. Instead of just saying, I hope I can understand them, no, master them and then help others understand them. Okay, so figure out what your weak areas are. Make a list. Grammar, idioms and phrases, confidence, correct learning methods, the way you practice. Maybe that's collaborating with others. You always learn by yourself, and maybe you need to improve that too. So identify those, okay? Then find someone who also needs help with that. Now that's a big topic, right? But there are simple places that you can look. Perhaps, for example, you go to the English Learning Reddit. I am often looking on the English Learning Reddit. Sometimes I'm answering questions there to help people with things that I understand pretty well. You could go to Quora, that's a good place as well. Or maybe you encounter people in your daily life, people around you who are also working on different aspects of their English, okay? So you've identified areas where you're maybe strong and where you're weak, and you've identified people who need help. I think that the English learning subreddit is a great place to look. Then, master that thing, knowing that you're going to have to explain it to someone. So let's say you find an idiom. This is just a simple example. You're struggling with English idioms, understanding them and using them. You come across a couple of them in a movie or a TV show, and you really struggle to understand how they're used, how you can use them. With the intention of eventually having to teach others how to use that, now you have that in your head, learn it really well. That doesn't mean just knowing what it means, but how to use it, look at it in example sentences, make your own, check it with others, right? And then teach it to others. A great way to start would be for idioms, for phrases, for expressions, dictionary.com sometimes, or I like best, the free dictionary. Look at all of the example sentences, make your own, and try to get some feedback on the example sentences you make. Make sure you've got it. Practice it, really master it. Then craft a simple explanation. Now again, the best thing to do is probably, make a YouTube channel teaching that to other people. I know that most people are not going to do that, but if you find a specific question on Reddit, English Learning Reddit, or maybe you find one on Quora, you can absolutely give the answer. It doesn't have to be only native English speakers giving answers there. If you know the answer, it doesn't matter who says the answer, right? Give those couple of examples that you've created. Make sure they're very clear. Make sure they're correct. Again, that's that pressure pushing on you. I don't want to screw it up. I don't want to mislead this person. I don't want to confuse them more. I don't want others to judge me. All of those things are positive pressure to make you really learn this, really master it. Because as Einstein said, you don't really know something until you can explain it simply, right? I'm recommending that you do this in writing, right? So that's less pressure than explaining it in a video or something. Well, maybe that's a future step for you, right? But starting with written answers. Then make a roadmap for yourself. Okay, try this process for one thing. Oh, this works. I think it will. This works for me. This pressure is good. I learned these idioms and then I helped other people understand them. I explained them to other people and that really burned it into my mind. Now I feel confident to use these. This process works for me. All right, so I need to now work on X, Y, and Z. The different things that you need to work on. Build a roadmap for yourself. What are you going to work on? When are you going to work on it? Specifically, always with the intention that you will need to explain it to other people. And give yourself more pressure by putting it into a schedule. By the end of this week, I need to master this. By the end of next week, I need to master that. By the end of October, I need to master these 3 things. Commit to a specific schedule of things you're going to work on with the goal of being able to explain them, right? And you're going to see progress much faster than if you were just kind of casually learning a little bit here and a little bit there, which is okay. But having this focus, having the pressure, committing to a roadmap, and most importantly, putting what you learn out there, not only for others to see, but for others to benefit from, is going to boost your language learning process. It's going to help you improve much faster. So let me know how it goes. Let me know what you start with. I'm very curious to hear your progress and your process. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also, feel free to check out my courses in the links in the description.